Hey guys, welcome back. Hopefully you enjoyed our little commercial break right there. I thought it was kind of fun. We got to take a break, do some bio breaks, and do all the other stuff that we needed to do. And now on with the show. Nom, talk to me about all the new ships that are coming out and stuff that they previewed for us.
Well, yeah, they sprung a brand new concept ship sale for the Crusader Spirit, which is a two-person crew, and it's competitive with competitive with like the Freelancer there and the Cutlass. It's kind of on the same scale. The cargo variant is holds 48 SCU, and you can fit up to a Cyclone just like you can with a Cutlass, and it costs $100, which is also very comparable. Um, and those were the paints for the ship there being shown. And there's three: the cargo one, which is called the C1, the A1 bomber variant, which is, think of it like a baby Hercules, but it carries 10 size 5 bombs. And it's $155. And these prices I'm giving are war bond. It's a little more, I think it's just a little more expensive, 10, 20 bucks or so if you pay with
175.
store credit. 175 with store credit. Okay, so 20 more. And then you have the E1, which is a executive. Kind of think of it along the lines of the Genesis Starliner, just carrying much fewer people. It's basically like executive travel, like a first class travel on an airline, and it's $135. Or you can buy you said the Chairman's Cup Club pack if you're in that for $375 for all three, or 410 if you're not in the Chairman's Club.
Yeah, 370
or
war bond. You get all three paints too, with the
okay. You do with the war bond. Okay, cool. Now, if you just like one particular paint and you get one of the ships, you can always just buy one of those paints for $9. But they also sell a 3-pack for 20% off that total. And the interesting thing is they have war bonds available for each one, with or without a paint. They can become preloaded with one of those paints.
Yeah, that's the Chairman's Club again. Only available the Chairman's Club.
Is it?
Yes.
Yep. Is it? Okay. I wasn't sure about that. Yeah, I only recently started seeing those. I didn't know those existed until just recently, because
welcome to the club.
And yeah, welcome to the club.
Your top hat and monocle are in the mail.
Yeah. I decided I wanted to get a 600i before the release came out, and it went up a little bit. So here I am. But there's that. What do we want? Who wants to first chime in on the Spirit, what they think of it?
I think it's absolutely wonderful. This is, I like the Crusader style ships. I love my MSR, and I see this as an answer to Cutlasses, but with some really cool features. So I think they look great. And go ahead, Jolly.
Yeah, I'm saying it depends on what ship you want to talk about. The C1, I'm not impressed with. 48 SCU for $100. I mean, okay.
That's the same
as the Cutlass Black.
Yeah. I'm really not impressed by that one.
But you can get into Ursa in the C1, which you can't get in the Cutlass Black.
The E1, the VIP version, I'm not.
No.
Hold on.
You can't get an Ursa in it.
What do you? No, we don't know yet.
You can get an Ursa in the C1.
The C1, you can get a Cyclone. They said during the
Ursa was in the late ship coming up next.
Yeah, the C1 can carry a Cyclone. They did say that.
Maybe I was wrong.
That's the max of it for that.
We'll have to keep in mind this is just concept art. We'll have to wait and see what how big they make it.
And it'll probably be next year before we see this earliest.
They increase the SCU on it, but at 48, I don't consider it really a cargo ship. Like Gnome said, it's a Cutlass. Now the E1, the VIP transport, I don't think against that. If you're into that type of gameplay, like the Phoenix and other ships like that, just not my style, but no big deal. Now the A1, I am interested in because I think it's a decent fighter, and the concept of having 10 size 5 bombs. They're bombs. And I think it. Help me out, guys. Is it 4 size 4 missiles on it also.
10 size 5.
Yeah, 10
bombs.
size
Oh,
5. Those
missiles?
are bombs. So that's gravity drop. But they also
And
have
then it's got
missiles
some
on it.
size 3 on the wings that are
Size
also
3
gravity
missiles.
drop.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I thought those were real missiles, Jay, as opposed to the bombs that they said for those 10
I thought they
size.
said that there were size 5 and size 3 bombs.
Well, I may be confused the terminology.
They were
here.
talking about the
I thought
C1.
they have missiles. They have
C2.
real missiles.
The
And they have bombs.
according to their tech specs, Jolly, 2 bespoke bomb racks, 5 size 3 bombs, no missiles that are listed.
So it's just more bombs.
That's what it says.
Yeah, wait and see on that one. Forward firing weapons are good too. That's not bad at all.
This is
So
a
I think
concept
the
sale, so
A1's
it can
probably the best
change.
of the 3. Yeah, big time.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Them.
The A1, I think, is going to be a hot seller because of the ability for you to have a light bomber that's a small cruise ship. The ship probably is going to be relatively fast since it's Crusader. And if they hold up like the other Crusader ships have, don't you think, Frack, that this is going to be a...
I support anything that drops bombs. I'd like to see the Gladiator get their bombs. Those are kind of your 2, light bombers, and they're going to absolutely have an important role that's missing right now in the game. For the 3 ships in general, I think they look amazing. I'll just say their concept, prepare for the chunk. But I think the C1 as an alternative to the Cutlass and the Freelancer is great. I think the A1 fills an important role that we need. And with 1 size 2 shield, you would never find me taking a trip on the E1 as a passenger. And they all have that problem of being, basically Cutlass level shielded, but that's a lot of people packed into a very squishy ship.
Well, I don't know. I mean, a Connie Phoenix has got a lot of people packed into a very squishy ship. I mean, what's the difference?
I'd have to look at the Connie shielding now.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that much difference, to be honest with you. I think, I'm not super excited about that game loop. But I definitely see it being used to haul people long distances, or medium-sized distances.
Connie has a single size 3. The E1 has a single size 2.
Sure. But the E1's probably going to be a lot faster, and
true.
Who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
Yep. Bombs, more bombs. Give us all the bombs.
Give us all the bombs. All the bombers we could have. Bombers good. But this will give us a tactical bomber, won't it? When it comes out.
I still think the Gladiator is going to be better. When the Gladiator's done and fixed, I think the Gladiator is going to be better. But
I would say
probably are right.
I would say the A2 is the heavy bomber, A1 the medium bomber, the Gladiator once it works, the light bomber.
The light bomber, yeah.
But a Gladiator is more of a
means
torpedo boat than the
Yeah,
A2 is going to be drop. I mean,
Gladiator's supposed to be a bomber with bombs.
So they're going to
get bombs.
They're going to get rid of the torpedoes, or is it just going to be a way you can swap them out, or what?
Either, but it's supposed to have bombs. We'll see if that ever comes, because otherwise, I mean, it's built for that. It's actually not a very good platform to be a torpedo delivery system. It'll make a fantastic bomber once they fixed its broken atmospheric flight.
And given its size, it should be detectable at a much shorter range. So that's one advantage it'll have, is you'll have less warning that it's there than, say, the bigger bombers.
Yes.
Well, I'm excited. There's any more bombers that we can put into the game, that's gonna do some good. And combining this with our last conversation where we were talking about capital ships being scary, I really think that this is going to change a lot of Jumptown-esque missions where, we're going to be able to hold ground a lot easier and bomb stuff a lot easier with smaller ships that we can bring in and out quicker. My guess is this thing is as fast as an MSR. Anybody disagree that the A1, C1, E1s are not? That they're probably 1,000 plus, 1,200 plus boost.
Well, that's all going out the window at this point, though.
Well, it
changes.
Sure, but they will be some of the fastest ships.
You'll have to slow down and drop your bombs.
All true.
Yep.
But
Mm-hmm.
they will still be fast. They'll be as fast as some fighters at SCM, I would bet.
Well,
You
Turin
look at
made
the
a good
MSR.
Turin made a good point.
In
you
a
know,
straight line.
Yes.
with the new restrictions, you're not going to be able to drop bombs going above SCM. And in the same way, zippy little eclipses that like to come in at 970 meters per second and throw a torpedo in your face aren't going to be able to do that anymore. Going back to segment one real quick,
and
which
you
will be
got to
great.
you'll have to pick how long it's going to take your everything to get up to speed, because you're going to have to turn it on before you get to the target.
Yep.
That's going to
so
make
you
stealth
guys-
that much more important too.
Yep.
So you guys,
Stealth matters. No, I was going to say, you're right about the detection range when it comes to the Gladiator once it drops bombs. Same holds true. The A1 may have a farther detection range than the A2. Don't know, but once again,
doubt it.
Light of the Bomber. I'm sure they're there yet, Jay. To be honest, but I think that may be the final game plan. Is size of your ship does matter, detection range. So when the game's finished, it might cross section exactly. So that comes into play.
So everyone on chat, go ahead and toss out your questions about the new ships. Also, remember to like and subscribe while we do that. Let's move on, and I think let's just go around the table here. I'm thumbs up on the Crusader Spirit. Jolly, what are your thoughts?
Yeah,
thumbs up,
A1,
thumbs down.
Yes, A1 is good. C1, no, not really. E1, just not a gameplay, so I have no opinion.
Okay. Nom?
I'm thumbs up on it. I think the C1 could be a suitable for people who like to use a Cutlass as an all-rounder, as their go-to all-rounder. I could see a C1 being that instead if they just don't like the Drake style.
That would be
I
me.
mean, it's nice to have a variety of bomber sizes, so I'm all for that. And we don't know enough about the niche that the E1's going to go into with E1, the Genesis, Phoenix. What gameplay is going to make use of that? It's going to be a long time before we see any of that in the
I
gameplay
agree.
that uses that.
Frack, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up. I don't think any of them really are going to be massive game changers, but they look great like all Crusader ships do, and I think they give good alternatives to similar ships in each class. So yeah, nothing wrong with it.
Okay. Turn, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Well, I'm a proud owner of the Spirit alphabet of ships, so that's all you need to know.
All three.
I like it. I mean, I'm looking forward to the passenger gameplay. As many, if you've tuned in over the years we've been doing this. I'm a big ship driver. I'm a passenger liner, cargo. It does give a great alternative to the Cutlass or the Freelancer if you want to look at it. And I think the bomber is going to be a game changer.
So I'm going to go to Soulhawk here for the final word on this, and then I got one little comment, and then we'll move on. So what are your thoughts? Thumbs up, thumbs down on the...
Thumbs up. I definitely like them from a look standpoint. They're fantastic. From a practicality standpoint, they all seem to do what they want. So I'd say solid ship.
Okay. So here's my one comment. CIG missed the mark. They should have had a fourth variant called the Spirit M1, which would be a Crusader dropship. That would have been a perfect. They missed the mark. They could have taken the cargo space, dropped in seating and weapons lockers on each side where the cargo space is, and boom, bada bing, had another dropship in the mix with very little work.
Well, I'm sure our Marines would love traveling on the E.
Can't carry enough. But I think they missed the boat. I think they missed.
Just pack some crayons will be good to go, man.
They missed the boat on it. They could have easily created an M1.
They did, Jay. They did say that. I heard the word module mentioned several times.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility in the future.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. Let's talk about the Drake Corsair. Nom. I'm sure you're more excited about this than I am.
I'm not real. I've never really been big on this ship, but it looks like it
Well,
could be
I mean,
useful.
it
It's a
is
bit
an
of a weird
exploration ship.
design. Yeah, on the actual what it serves, the stats it has, it could be useful. I just don't like this general style of those weird wings going out. But it's very close to completion. Not not they never would they don't answer when, but there's every indication it will come out with. Can you hear me? Man, can you?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear
Yep.
you.
Okay, sorry. My headset did something weird. Um, there's a 318. Most likely, we're getting it because they said it's going to come out at IAE. It may just be on display in the showroom, or it may be flyable or in a 318.x patch. It's a 4 crew, heavily armed for the class. No, I'm not going to say punches above its weight. Designed for long. Okay, so basically, it's a more of a long range, self sufficient. I guess you'd think of it like a Firefly, from the series, and it has that weird design, like you saw in the video there, where the co-pilot goes in underneath the pilot, kind of separated like that. I don't know how well that'll work. And turrets do have a wide field of fire because they extend out to the sides, kind of similar to what other ships do that? Well, of course, the Hammerhead and the others. They have the
Carrack.
turrets that gimbal out to the side. The Carrack, yes, Carrack's a good example of that. And as other ships in this class, you can fit up to an Ursa in it because it's mostly comparable to a Constellation or what else is in that size. I don't know if an MSR is a
MSR.
good comparison.
MSR's in
MSR,
that
maybe.
size.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
though that's not an
But,
exploration ship,
but I've never really been too big on the Corsair, mainly because I just kind of wondered the weird design. I thought the design was weird, but who's hyped for this one?
I think there's a lot of people in the community that have been looking for this ship to come out.
Is it
I
just
think,
the aesthetic?
and the weapons. I mean, every time people talk about it, it's packing a lot of weapons. It was filling something that the Carrack was missing, which was the pilot not being able to control, forward firing weapon systems, which the Corsair definitely does. I thought before we got to before the power play segment, where the multi crew is going to be, something you've really got to plan out. I thought, the Corsair people were thinking that could be my solo exploration ship. I'm not so sure now that you want to go that route in a Drake, but um, I think it's not as anticipated as the Carrack was, but there is a Corsair community out there that's waiting for it to come out.
I'm not big on this ship. I think there's better exploration ships in this space.
I mean, this is
Probably,
just an exploration ship.
Did
when
you-
you have more guns strapped on it? That's all this is.
Did you see? Did you hear the word exploration? I mean, they didn't go over any of the. They said at the beginning, but did you see any exploration platform
No,
when they walked them through the ship? I'm not so sure it's got a real exploration mission.
There are really real scanning stations or anything like that, like you find even in a 600 Explorer.
Not unless they were sitting around the table, which they stole from the Caterpillar and put it in the mess deck. So the guy made it sound like it was some fancy. I'm like, that's the same thing in the Caterpillar, dude. But I didn't see any exploration station like you see in the 600i, like you see in the Carrack, like you even see in the Terrapin. Absolutely, Jolly, like you see in the Terrapin. I didn't see anything extra, that would say exploration in this. Because the co-pilot underneath looked like he operated the turret underneath. That's really what it really was for him,
Or does he do
like
double
a turret
duty as a
station
scanning
and co-pilot.
operator?
This is exploration, as in we have to find the other ships to destroy.
Yeah, they needed a license from the Empire to make a bigger ship. That's what it was. Oh, it's exploring. Honestly, it is.
Somebody's phone just went off.
Yeah, mine did.
Last but definitely not least, let's talk about the new racing buggy thing. What's going on with this, Mom?
Well, I've always had a soft spot in my heart for the PTV. I mean, it's just it's got character to it. I know some people don't care for it, but I love it. And this is basically an upsized, kind of a Jeep-sized version of the PTV called the STV, and it's gone straight to drivable. It dropped to the store and in game as soon as the video ended today. It's $35 war bond or $40 if you use store credit. Uh, the main the main difference is you see the wheels are bigger, and it has space in the back for where you can put two of the hand carryable crates. Which, if you want to think about that, that's two which hold roughly about the same as a heavy backpack. So you could just buy the two empty crates at the cargo bay, slap those in there, and you kind of got yourself a little storage in the back of this thing. Um, as to how useful it is, I don't know. I mean, maybe it'll matter more when you can shoot from the passenger seat. There's a lot of what ifs here, but it's a different vehicle. They can have a little more variety for the Daymar Rally and stuff like that. Is what I think it comes down to. Which this thing coming out may even explain why they screwed with the vehicle speeds earlier this week, and everybody's real happy about that. Um,
I think the vehicle
and of
speeds were
course,
way too high to begin with, but that's just me.
I would
That's
agree
because you
with
hit stuff when
especially
you
with the
drive.
with the current
When do I
vehicle
drive?
driving model right now, it's hard to control it. And then they teased one more variant called the UTV. U is for utility, and which what all that will do is hard to say, but who knows? Maybe it'll have more storage and more equipment you can mount onto it.
I'm going to be honest
And
with you. It looks like a mule competitor that it looked like a 2-seat with a cargo bed in the back just big enough to hold a 1 SCU cargo container. That would be my
this
best
won't
of the
even hold
picture.
one SCU though. It'll hold two
bad
hand carryable
packages.
No.
boxes.
I'm talking about the
He's
little
talking about
the other one that they announced.
the UTV.
Oh, the other one.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
UTV.
It
Yeah,
looks
the
like a
UTV.
big
You may be
gator.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
Looks like a big
Okay, so
gator.
you're right. That may well be a mule competitor.
I'm going to be honest. That was the most interesting vehicle I saw out of the ground vehicle stuff they showed today. Was that it's like, the ability to go do bunkers where I can land 2 kilometers away, pull one of these little things out, and have a 1 SCU crate in the back and one buddy sitting in the passenger seat, and off to the races we go.
You know where
Well,
you're going to see
keep
that?
in mind in the future. Sorry.
I was going to say, you know where you're going to see that ship? It's going to be on Lorville. There's going to be a guy going around with something picking up trash from Hurston, because it looks like the dude in my home horse is just going to be driving up and picking up trash and throwing it in the back. That's all right.
I completely agree.
Yeah, it could be useful for that, for because right now you can't land near. It's a lot harder to having to park 1,000 meters out from a outpost because of the turrets. I mean, vehicles have
Well,
more of a purpose now, and this
I
is
think
more
I think
accessible.
the bigger
to
issue
people.
there is the turrets are shooting through the terrain.
I haven't encountered that too much, honestly.
Oh yeah, I
mean,
haven't tried it.
I'll
With
park
Dot
behind
3,
trees and I'm fine.
But now the STV, if you strapped a crew serve weapon or a remote turret on the top of that thing, I think it could be very, very useful. I mean, you get a little rack patrol vibe when you're watching it and going through, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was watching our chat today, and somebody said, "Hey, that's really great that you can put these 2 things in the back, and you got all this kind of stuff, but it's open. Somebody while you're loading, your drugs in the back, somebody's hopping in the front and driving off. So it's going to be, carjack citizen or something like that. So I don't know if it's going to be all that useful. Now the driving characteristics, though, it's definitely looks like it handles better, which is a real positive. So
I will
we'll see.
say, did anybody watch the race? Show of hands who watched the race after the CitizenCon. Well,
I have to
myself
say no.
and the Munchkin here, who we're going to show a picture of real quick. Wave. Anyhow, she is absolutely enamored with this racing vehicle, and but I watched the little rally with her at the end, and only and she's got to learn to be quiet when she's not being pointed at. Anyhow, at the end, only like 4 or 5 out of 45 or 6
Yeah.
out of 45 people completed the race. I mean, it's something ridiculous.
Well,
So
the
it's
whole
too
vehicle
squishy.
driving is a mess right now. They got to
Yeah.
the handling needs to be greatly improved. They need to not blow up from bumping up against a plant.
I was going to say
Um,
those cactuses are deadly.
And they look like something you could crawl over, but nope, you die.
No.
So I think that's any other
Yeah, real
comments
quick,
on
Steve, the STV, I believe, in my opinion, is an absolutely magnificent LTI marker.
Oh yes. How expensive is it?
$25.
35.
35. 35.
35. Yep.
Still a great LTI
Still good.
marker.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely if you're wanting to convert something to, if you have a ship that is going to come out in November sale and you want to get it with LTI, $35, you're not going to be able to beat that for a marker.
Nope.
Great
Nope.
marker.
So it's buy as many of them as you can. And do you have to buy them war bond, or can you get LTI on them?
40,
credit.
40 for 40. Oh no, you have to buy war bond to get LTI.
To get the LTI.
Yeah.
Really? They
Yep.
used not to do that. They used to
because
offer
it's-
it.
No, that's been that way for a while.
That's
man.
because it's straight to
Long time
drivable.
That 2 years ago now.
2 years ago that they've done that.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
I think so.
but that's a good way to upgrade ships. If you have let's say you have a MSR that you love, but you only have 6 months insurance on it, it'd be an easy way to convert it to LTI.
Melt that one and use this as a token to get it back.
Okay. Any other comments on the ground vehicles or any of the new ships?
Nope.
We're right at 30
Just,
minutes, guys. With that said, guys, like and subscribe. Again, throw your questions and comments out into chat on either Discord or on YouTube, and we'll highlight them. And at the end of the show, we'll go through your questions and comments and give our peanut gallery opinions on them. So see you in a minute. We'll be right back with another break after this break.